Can Do Anything podcast listeners. This is your host, Robin Steckel. Today we have two guests on the podcast, Gary Christy and Sean Gallaher. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hi, Robin.
How are you both today?
Doing
It's
fine.
Friday
Doing
evening,
great. Yes.
and it's just settling down for the night.
Good. I see a problem with one of your pictures, if not two of your pictures, Gary. You've got Ohio behind you. This is Badger country.
Oh boy.
It's the Buckeyes. I know. And Saudi is a Wolverine. Can't believe that.
Gary, we're going to start with you. This is a story of Gary's journey, Sean's journey, and how the two of them came together with a trading group and the success of that trading group. So, Gary, why don't you take us on your history trip and how you even got started trading the stock market?
All right. Well, it was several years before I met Joe, which that was the first group him and I were in trading penny stocks. But I had dabbled in buying stocks here and there through a broker you actually called up on the phone at that time and to trade. And it was large caps. AT&T was one of them because it's where my father retired from. And I would just buy and hold for a long time and sell it later. But when I met up with Joe, who had a penny stock group, before he had the penny stock group, we were talking about different penny stocks and how he was trading them. And so it intrigued me. So I joined in and quickly learned over a few months to about a year that penny stocks are no good. You don't make money off of them. The only time you make money off a penny stock is if you happen to get in one and all of a sudden everybody and their brother is buying it for some odd reason, just be out of rumor. And then we also learned that you're supposed to sell those quickly, not hold them. It was a losing proposition. We gradually moved up to small caps and then gradually on his direction, we moved up into the large caps and he basically taught me how to trade options. I was scared to death of options. I didn't know anything about them. I simply just didn't want anything to do with it. And my first option trade was on the ticker MU, Micron. And I made $65 on it in one day. I held it overnight, and that hooked me because I had never made $65 on any penny stock or anything else that I've done. And that was just by accident. It went up the next morning. It was totally accident. I had even picked next day's expiration and held it overnight and still made money on it. So I knew nothing about penny stocks, options. And then over the years, as we traded options together and with a group of people, I lost a lot of money from the school of hard knocks. And I won't say here, but it was a lot.
I think quite a few of us who got started in the stock trading groups business have also lost money. I think that in order to become a very good trader, you do have to go through the school of hard knocks. You don't have to lose a ton of money with risk management, but I agree. I think you would be hard pressed not to find a stock trader today, whether it's stocks, options, that hasn't lost money in the beginning. So how did you get through that, Gary? And why did you continue to keep trading even though you lost some cash?
I just felt myself that there was a way to win at this every day. I figured that stockbrokers were making big money doing this, And some people were doing it. And I figured if they could do it, so could I. I kept at it and kept at it and kept at it. And about 3 years ago, I it happened to catch my eye using just what I call the lower indicators, the MACD and the RSI. And I saw just about every afternoon, um, around between 1:30 and 2:30, if those, I call them lower indicators, were completely down at the bottom from a dip in the afternoon, it would always go up. Buyers would always swoop in. So I started following that pattern, and it would work about 90% of the time. Sometime between, I used to say 1:30, but 1 o'clock, 2:30, it would happen almost every day. The day it didn't happen, I just didn't trade that day. I didn't try it. And I started making money back. So after a couple of years of that, uh, over, oh, let's see, this is almost 2 years ago, I started posting the charts in my Facebook group that had like 45 or 50 people in it forever. No one was in there. So I started posting it every day the next day or that evening, the trade, or, where it went up, and people started joining. I, had no idea that people would start finding the Facebook group and start signing in or joining up with the Facebook group. It was all free. And at first, people would want to know, well, how do you do this and how you do that? And I just kept telling people, well, I'm not here to train you. I'm just here to show you what I did. And you can take that at face value and learn it on your own, because I didn't want anything to do with training people. And eventually, last year, probably around April or May, probably around April, people kept asking me to start a Discord group where they could get training on what I was doing and what I was putting up in the Facebook group. And I didn't want anything to do with that, because I know Discord groups, from being in one with Joe, is a lot of work. It's a ton. It's not 9:30 to 4. It's about 20 hours a day if you let it happen that way.
I'll interrupt you real quick, Gary, and just let our listeners know that what Gary's talking about, a Discord group, is basically a website where you can chat with other people in your group. You can share screens, you can share pictures, you can share news articles. It's really a beefed up chat platform is really what I would call it.
Indeed. And I even had one person, I wish I can even remember who it was, that kept messaging me every 2 to 3 days to start a Discord group, and he would help me out with all the programming and stuff. And I didn't want anything to do with it. So I eventually blocked him so he could never get a hold of me again. And it was about last August that I remembered, because I see it all the time, because I was in another person's group as well as Sean was. And that group kind of dwindled. Nothing was really happening. And I asked Sean, I says, hey, because he had set up this Discord group, I think in 2018. I said, you got a Discord group already. People were asking me to start a Discord group. And I said, what do you think about that? And he told me, yeah, sounds good. So we got things together. He does all the programming and everything behind the scenes. I do everything out in front of the scenes, the training and all this stuff. But he does some training too, does really good training. But and so we started it up. And at first it was free. We wanted to see how it would go. And then when we realized this is going to be some work, we started charging. And a lot of the original members are still in the group. And those original members are still with the lower rate. It's $25 a month for them when they started. And we told them, as long as you don't cancel, you can stay at that rate until 2025. Yeah, I think it's 2025, wasn't it? Yeah.
All right, Sean, why don't you take us on your journey of how you got started, and then we'll meet up with Gary.
I know my face doesn't show the age, but I actually started back in the .com era. My first stock I made a lot of money on was Digital Lightwave. And it was actually a penny, it was considered a penny stock. I got in, I think it was like, and I can't remember exactly. I mean, it's been over 25 years. I think I got in at like 78 cents. And within 4 days, it was up to $90. But back then there was really no charting. It was watch CNBC, what tech company were they talking about? So I didn't really learn much about it. It's just like, just watch TV. If they say something, oh, this company will go hop in and get in and get a trade in. What was bad about those days for traders to start out were the trading fees. You were talking about, I think was it like $19 or $29 in, and then you pay the same to get out plus a commission. So unless you had a big account, no small person could start it. Today with the zero fees, anybody could trade. But let me go back on my journey here. I traded through there, blew up my account after the .com bubble burst. Started
And-
again.
And for our, I'm going to interrupt you real quick, Sean. For our listeners, what does it mean by blowing up an account?
You basically drained your account with so many losses, you really had not much left to trade for. And I will say this, anybody looking to get in trading, blowing up an account a few times, that's just the price of admission, because you don't truly learn how you are going to be as a trader until you've had that happen. Some people can't handle it. Other people, okay, you get knocked down on your bum, you get up, you dust it off. All right, let me start over again. Others could just start right over in the beginning. Others will just, this is it, I can't deal with this, I'm going to take it off. But after the .com bubble went, I jumped over to Forex. Now I know a lot of your people probably don't remember the currencies were not allowed to be legally traded until like the mid 90s. So then they started, all these Forex companies shot up when it became legal. Well, Forex is nice because it's not limited to only 9:30 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. It trades, I think, 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. It works nice, but I learned that with that, the benefits and the harm of margined accounts. When you do leverage accounts sound great. Oh, if I put $1 in, I could get a $500. I could use it as a buying power of $500. Yeah, that sounds nice on paper. Now let's look at the other fact. When that trade goes against you for $1, you're now down $500. So a lot of people don't understand that. And when people start talking to me at Forex, I'm like, I still trade it, but it's not something for a new beginner to try with because of the leverage. After that came, I got back in. We had basically, if you look at the S&P 500 for the 2000, it went up and came back down for the 2008. So you had the .com run up, and then it came back down after that blew up, went back up, then you had the banks blow up. So you had a nice, really rough couple years there. It was later than that, it was around that time when I started just doing big tech. I play with Microsoft or Apple or something, but I was afraid of options. Options back then were only monthly, so you didn't have weekly options or daily options like you do on SPY today. So there's a lot of stigma around options. There's like, oh, you get involved in the options, you're going to wind up with a lawn full of pig bellies or something like that. And it wasn't until I met Joe that I actually started playing with options. Up to that time, I just did mostly penny stocks, mid tech, small tech, and stuff like that. And then since options, that was actually probably the best and the safest thing for people to learn to trade. But I will say this is one of the things that you have to learn is charting. You have to be able to look at a chart. And I said this to Gary, and I said this to the people in my training class. If you look at a chart, you can't see a trade in 30 seconds, don't trade. If you can't see it right away, it's not there. Don't force it. And these are the things that people need to learn about themselves when they're trading. That's why I said, you're going to blow up a few accounts when you first start trading. You need to learn how you're going to handle it, what your emotions are going to be like, because, everybody thinks it's all technical. No, you still have the human component. You have you as the trader. That, as soon as you start trading and you start trading with real money, there's emotional component in there. You need to learn how to handle that. But then I met up with Joe and then met up with Gary, and then the rest is history.
For all of our listeners, Joe's group did disband in,
2019.
yeah, it was 2019. And a couple of new groups started. And I will say that Gary, Sean, and I were all in that group together, along with several other people. And it was a good group. I think that it taught a lot of us the basics. We got to know each other a little bit over, as much as you can, over a chat session or a voice session, because we did have trainings. And I'm really happy to say that Gary and Sean came together for another group that is wildly popular. And I want to talk about that. What makes your group so successful? What makes people stay? And what are you going to continue to do to keep people and to generate new followers?
The group was started after the success, showing the success rate of the daily trade in the Facebook group. And so we decided, well, let's try this Discord group. People want this, the Discord group, they want training, and they want to learn this. So Sean had the Discord group already for years set up, and we decided, well, we'll go ahead and start it. So I think for about the first 3 or 4 weeks, it was free. And we decided to go ahead and monetize it and charge people what we would want. I said, told Sean what I want to be charged in any group that I want to be in, because I have been in groups where I was charged $100, $150, $200, $500 a month and lost not only that money, but lost my money. Didn't learn a thing from any of them. And a lot of groups are still like that. So we started charging $25 a month. Go ahead, Sean.
May I interject here? The whole reason why we came with the charging is because of the time spent, and it's also to get it's an easy way to get away from freeloaders, because you always have a lot of people. I mean, I've had a couple of groups where they were free. You always get people that in that are just badgering for everything. They want to know this, they want to know that. Oh, hey, can I call you at midnight? I'm like, no, this is a free group. You want my time, you got to pay for it. But it was just to try to keep down on a lot of the freeloaders, because you don't realize how many people will come into the welcome session on the Discord where you're not even a member yet, but they're demanding to know, oh, the strategies. Oh, what's today's pick? Can you give me a hint of what you're going to go at? They all want handouts. And frankly, I don't want them in there pestering the other members. That was the whole basis of it. And it's also the time of keeping membership and keeping spammers out and stuff like that is one of the things I wanted to avoid. And that's why we came up with the fee, and that for all the work Gary does.
Yeah, I can say, even as podcasting is a hobby, it's expensive and it is very time consuming. So I absolutely appreciate the fact that there is a charge for any of the groups. I also think it lends credibility to any group too that
Yeah.
charges, because that shows me that the two of you respect your time.
So, and as time went on, I discovered that instead of just going over or showing people the trade in the afternoon, things kind of grew and I guess morphed into what it is now. But eventually, I started giving because people wanted to know, well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? So I started giving a nightly recap as soon as the market closed, most nights. because I have a full-time job and some nights I just didn't get home in time. So we started doing a nightly recap. And because I felt that instead of just having the group here and giving out an alert, I wanted to start teaching people what I know and why what I do was working. So we started that. And then um, Sean had developed a beginner's course. It was a 6-week training course that we had in last February and March. And it was more of a beginner's training course that actually sets a good foundation for people to uh, learn and base their trading off of. So now I'm going to go to Sean and let him discuss that.
Basically, what we found is a lot of people starting out in trading, they have this grand idea what they think it's going to be versus what reality is. So we had a lot of people coming in. They didn't know the basics. If I would ask them the Greeks, they'd be like, I don't know. And one of the parts of the strategy is you go in with a Delta 40. Well, how does that change? What changes that? They didn't even have the basic understanding of the Greeks. So the whole idea was to put a foundation where they have a good basic idea what the Greeks are. I mean, they're not going to get in depth because you could probably spend a month just going over the IV and how that's written and everything. And then part of it was understanding the indicators. What are the indicators actually looking at? How do we use them? What are they used for? I mean, just because you throw some indicators up on the chart doesn't mean they give you any value. And then the other part we were talking about is, and this is the most important part, you as a trader and risk management. We see too many people come in. Hey, I just started trading. I just opened up an account. I got $10,000 in it. Oh, I just bought $10,000 worth of options and my account's gone. When you're asking them, going, why did you buy those options? Well, it looked like it was going up. Yeah, but it was already gone up most of the morning. It was probably time for a pullback. And you jumped in out of the money options because you didn't bother going with a Delta 40 because you thought getting twice as many options would be better than getting a higher Delta. So now you're pretty much up the creek. You just blew up your account. And part of the things we harp on is risk management. Yes, on a $500 account or a $1,000 account, your risk management is going to be out of proportion to your account size. That's just something that's because of the price of an option. When you start growing that account, when you're up to 10,000, 20,000, your risk management, your risk per trade should be a lot smaller. But we still see people coming in, and we just had it again a few weeks ago. Guy comes in, he threw 100% of his account into a trade. The trade did finally pay off. Like Gary said, he's not gonna. We do it well all the time, but might not make money. And he didn't make money. He was lucky he got out, and he only had a loss because of the theta decay on it and the IV drop. I mean, it was just a choppy sideways day. He hopped into a trade, and it wasn't even an alerted trade. It wasn't even Lou or anybody saying, "Hey, I'm getting in here." He says, "Oh, indicators down on the bottom. Let's jump in," and went in with all of his account. That's somebody we try to get through to in this class, is because part of you being a trader needs to know how you, the trader, are going to act in a trade. I say it all the time. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. I call them Harry Potter days. This is the day where, you know what, nothing's happening. Go watch a movie. Go watch the news, go out for a walk, go play golf. Just step away, because unless you can control yourself, and this is something that people need to learn if they want to get into trading, you need to control yourself. Like I said before about the chart, 30 seconds, you don't see a trade, go away. Don't force a trade. And the longer you start staring at that chart, the more you're going to try to seek out a trade that's not there. And what'll happen? You'll get in and you end up blowing up your account. And the reason why most people fail at trading is they don't know how to control themselves, nor do they know how to manage their risks.
Are you
I know I'm going
finding,
on to the lecture.
No, it's good. Are you finding more people these days that want to have that instant gratification of, I'm just gonna throw out $5,000. I have a $5,000 account and I want to double that in a week, 2 weeks, a month. Are you finding
Absolutely.
that? Mhm.
A lot of people think trading is like going to the casino, and they treat it like that. They're gonna go and they all expect to come in with a $500 account, and they're gonna walk out of here tomorrow, and it's gonna be 25,000. We actually had somebody join the group wanting to know. He says, "How can I turn $500 into 20,000 by next week? I really need 20,000." And we're like, "Yeah, not gonna
Me
help you."
too.
Yeah, I know, right? We'd all love that. If we all knew that, we'd be all having a nice. We'd own our own islands. But we do have a lot of that mentality, and a lot of it, I think it has to do with gamers and the misconception that people have about trading. A couple months ago, actually, I think it was only about 6 or 8 weeks ago, there was a couple of guys and young guys. They were part of a trading group, and they're posting pictures of their Lambos and their big houses. They were doing the influencing on YouTube and everything. It turned out these people were scamming a lot of people because they were actually doing pump and dumps. So they were flashing their Lambo saying, "Oh, I grew up in a poor house and now look at my Lamborghini." So what are you saying to somebody that wants to get rich? Oh, just hop into trading. Now, trading eventually you can make a nice income out of this. But if you're going into it with the mindset that, hey, I want this $500 to be 25 grand next week, you know what you're going to be doing? You're going to be broke. You just blew that $500, so you don't have that 25,000. And it's just they give us a very bad reputation because traders look like they're professional gamblers. In a way, we are, but trading comes down to this. It's a game of probabilities and risk management, heavy on the risk management. We're looking at a chart. We're gauging the probabilities of it's going to move either this way or that way. All right, if it's going to go this way, I am going to sit there going, all right, if I'm going to get a big enough move, all right, I'm going to buy an option on that. But other people want to use it as a casino where they go in, they drop $500 on the craps table. Oh, hey, it's past the line. All right, okay, I kept my $500. Let's do it again. Let's go for something that has like really wild odds. I'm gonna go roulette table. I'm gonna do red 36. I'm gonna put it all on there. And what happens? It doesn't hit red 36. And one of the things I do stress with the training class is look at the probabilities of the trade. The probability of the trade, which way do you think it's going to go? Probability of the trade is not risk management. That's a totally different topic. You're looking at the chart. You're looking at the setup. In 30 seconds, you have a good probability he's going to go up or he's going to go down. If you can't see the probability, good probability there, sit on your hands. Watch Harry Potter.
And that's what you teach new people coming in.
I try to reinforce it. And the sad part is because human beings are emotional, we crave that excitement. We want to go, man, I just made $5,000 today. We want to go high five everyone. We want that gratification. We want that fame. And it causes us to do stupid things.
Well, and
Like
I
I said,
also,
30 seconds. If you don't see a trade in 30 seconds, walk away. Sit on your hands. What's the basic premise I teach a lot of the new traders in there? It's not all about home runs. It's about base hits. Those base hits add up over time. And I show with Gary here the compound sheet I use. Starting with, let's say, $1,000. If you aim for about 2.5% growth each week, how much was it up after a few weeks, Gary?
5 years, it was $500,000 at
Yeah.
just 2.5% gain per week. My gain is usually between 10 and 12% per day. Take your profit, get out. You know, I trade I'm out between 10 and 20 cents on my contracts, usually 10 and 15 cents, and I'm out. And it takes me 5, maybe 10 minutes tops. But yeah, that's what I try to stress to people is take small profit. It looks small now. But if you're trading 5 contracts and next month you're trading 6 contracts every day, then and the next month you're trading 7 contracts every day, it looks small now. But you got to look at the bigger picture. 5 years from now, that's not going to be small anymore. And you have learned the strategy, which our strategy works every day without fail. Guaranteed, it works every day. I won't guarantee you'll make money every day. If you trade and be patient and you wait the strategy for the strategy, it works every day, once every day, most days 2 or 3 times.
I will say something else that hasn't helped the stock market trading groups are the GMEs, are the Bitcoins, the Dogecoin, whatever it was. Those all give trading a really bad name too. And that is something that I'm assuming that the two of you also have to combat, is these get rich quick.
That's the idea behind a lot of these people. They're flashing their Lamborghinis that they rented for the weekend, making it look like they're driving it. They go out to some mansion, they get a picture of themselves. Or the famous one, it's a guy sitting on a private jet with a table full of cash. I'm like, you know what? I doubt the guy's a trader, because if he's actually a trader, he's not sitting there with a table full of cash. He's probably sitting there going, "It's a day off. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go play with the kids. I'm gonna go out golf. I'm just gonna relax for a little while." And those are the things that really do a bad image to trading. It makes it look like we're a bunch of how can I put it politely, just so you don't have to edit it out. A bunch of fan clubs getting drunk and celebration at Vegas for a weekend. That's what it comes down to. They want to be around the craps tables when somebody rolls a snake eye, so they go, "Yay!"
That's why I emphasize when I'm teaching people this strategy to take your small gain. Because when I get in on a trade, first of all, I call them 99% win, chance of a win trades. Doesn't mean it's going to go up 99%. It means it's a 99% chance of a win. The reason I call it a 99% chance of a win and not 100%, because nothing is 100%. You could be in that trade, it's working perfectly, and Papa Powell on TV, which is the everyone knows who that is, the Fed chief, could be on TV in an interview that we didn't know anything about and say something. All of a sudden, you'll see a candle, a 5-minute candle that went down beneath your desk. Nothing you can do about that. It just get out and go. Tomorrow's another day. That's the way it is. But that's why I emphasize to people, take your 10 to 15 cent profit on your the highest probability of a win trade that we train on, and you're done for the day. And I see people do it every day. They will be posting in the bragging channel up $800. Someone a few weeks ago was up $5,000, ended up selling for about 300 bucks at the end of the day. And we tell people during the day, keep your profits, stop trading. You're done, one and done. That's what I do, one and done, because I've been there and done that.
When you build up account, Robin, you could make a nice living by only doing 2 or 3 trades a week. And we try to reinforce that mentality. It's also the other mentality I try to reinforce is this: remember why you're trading and take time off. What was it? I think it was Memorial Day, Gary, was it?
Probably.
We get every time there's a public holiday, we'll get somebody going in there with that guy standing in the pool looking at a wall. They're like, "I thought there was trading today. I missed it." I'm like, it's a holiday. Take your day off.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Go out with your family. Find a new hobby. I mean, if you can't stand your family, you want to go do something, go out golfing. Just stay away from the market. And they're like, "Oh, I really love it." And I keep explaining to them, going, I have friends that are heart surgeons. When they have a day off, they're not going, "Oh, I can't wait to get back in that operating room again." They want their day off to go play golf and do whatever. I enjoy trading. It's fun. It's very enjoyable, but I also know this. I need that break. I need to just go away. And I even said it to Gary, every other month, I take a 4-day weekend. I go away. The only electronic devices I have on me are my phones. Computers all stay, laptop stays. I don't take any of that with me because you need that downtime. Because what happens is you get too much into the trade and your emotions start kicking in, and that dopamine kicks in, and your brain chemistry is going crazy. Now, I'm not speaking as a psychologist. I'm not. I don't have any psychological training other than just watching myself. But I just know when I see people, bad behaviors start coming if you don't know how to take a break. You need a work-life balance.
Going to a different topic. What about people like me who I really am an anomaly. I love my day job. I really enjoy what I do during the day. I have no desire to become a day trader. The why for my trading and why I got started with Joe's class back in the day was, number one, my mom and I talked about it, and I had always wanted to get into the stock market, just never did. Finally had the opportunity to join Joe's group, did it, started trading. My why was really just to learn the basics on the nights and the weekends. My why really goes back to, at the end of the day, I enjoy my daytime job. However, I wanted to find a hobby that I would be able to start learning now so that by the time I retire in 15 years, I would have something that I have dabbled in for the past 15 years. And then in my retirement, I can trade in the morning, the afternoon, enjoy it. It's a hobby, and then go on my day. How do you guys train people who really do love their full-time job or have to have a full-time job? And how do you train them to trade your strategy?
Ah, great question. We have people that come in all the time that want the alerts. Here's a problem when you have a full-time job. The alert will go out and 10 or 15 minutes later, they'll see the alert. It's too late by then. It's already past. Your time to get in was when the alert went out. This is why, along with alerts, we teach people how to trade and when to get in. Because the old saying is, give a man a fish and he will eat for a day. Teach him how to fish and he will eat for life. And so we strong, if someone comes in and says, I have a full-time job, the only time I'm able to even look at my phone or look at anything is I have a half hour for lunch. Here's exactly what I tell them, because I'm not out to get anyone's, it's $35 a month now, by the way. I'm not out to get anyone's $35. I don't care about your $35. And here's exactly what I tell them. If you cannot watch your trade and watch the charts and jump in and learn the strategy that we have that works every day, stay away. It's exactly what I tell them. Stay away. Please do not sign up in our group, because you're going to end up losing money and you're going to hate it because you don't have the time to sit there and watch and learn what we have to teach you. If you have a day job and you cannot watch the charts, then it's not going to be for you. We don't teach swing trading. Like I tell people, swing trading is an 80-20 proposition. And that's actually giving a little more to the 20%. You lose 8 out of 10 times. And it's probably more than that. So you might win, you might do one swing trade. This is what hooks people on swing trading. They'll do one swing trade. They made $5,000 overnight, first one. And the next 10 swing trades, they will lose $10,000 on.
Mhm.
And then they've got the bug and they can't get away from it. They'll keep on losing money. Swing trading is no good. I don't care.
In this market since 2021, Robin, swing trading has been it's been really dry bones trying to find some good stocks to go on. I think it'll probably change as the market comes out of this bear market here and we start writing all the charts. That may change again. But Gary's right. If you can't look at the charts, day trading is not for you. And I think a lot of this goes back to the GME people and those people going, hey, I bought a bunch of stock at GME and it went up to $5,000 today. And I didn't have to look at my phone. If you're going to trade, you really need to look at what the charts to say. I'll give you a perfect example. AMC went from, I think it was like $8 and it went up to $78. I saw people posting on that they're hopping in then. You know what I did with AMC that day when it was up to $78? I shorted it. So I took their money. I know some of your viewers will be sitting there going, so that's one of those bastards. Yeah, that was me. When I see a chart like that, when I see a huge green candle on a daily chart like that, I know one thing. They didn't really have any good news. It's coming back down. This is just all a pump. Yeah, it may be a couple of days of pain, but it will come back down. And that's what I'm saying. If anybody learned charting, took a look at that chart, there was no reason for it to go up that much. It was only, oh, everybody's buying AMC. Well, that's not the news you're looking for. Maybe if AMC said, hey, we're investing, we just found the movie to cure cancer. Okay, that would be a legitimate reason for it to go up. But to go up that much, knowing charts, you sit there and go, okay, yeah, that puppy's coming back down. And it did.
The first thing I do when people sign up, because they see what I put on the Facebook group and they see that I write, you know, the strategy works every day. Guaranteed the strategy works every day. I know that. I'm not going to guarantee they make money. I'm going to guarantee the strategy works every day. I know this. And they'll come in the group. The first thing they do when they sign up, they pay their $35. They'll say, where do I get the alerts? The first thing I do is I'll tell them, first of all, you need to build a solid base. Everything is one step at a time, and it's for your good, not mine. And I'll send them to the Thinkorswim channel. I said, first, go through, read that slowly, set up your charts. I don't know how to set up my charts. All right, well, join us on Saturday morning recap, and I will show you how to set up your charts. In the meantime, I will tell them, don't trade anything. Watch and learn. Watch what goes on in the trading floor. You can ask a few questions. Don't ask how to set up your charts. Don't ask, is this a good time to get in on a trade? Because we'll put out the alert when it's a good time to get in on a trade. And setting up your charts during open market hours, no, we can't help you with that. That's what we save that for Saturday. And I tell people flat out, if $35 is too much for you to learn how to do this correctly, then you probably don't need to be here. You need that money somewhere else. And I usually tell people 30 to 60 days, no trading and learning, because getting rid of your bad habits takes at least 2 months, because people in the group, even though they know the strategy, they've got everything right in front of them, they know it perfectly, they will still revert to a bad habit one day and they'll put it in the bragging channel. I lost this amount. It was my fault because I didn't wait on the trade, which was an hour later, and they lost money. Well, a lot of people that have been here since the beginning in September have studied, have taken notes, attended all the recaps, attended the classes. And when they started, I've seen their winnings when they first started, $5 to $10 a day. Once in a while, they'd lose $10. But a lot of these people that's been here a while now, it's up to $400 and $500 a day, because they took their time and they paid attention and they studied. Trading is not 9:30 to 4. Trading is 9:30 to 4, doing your homework each night, going over the chart, finding out, okay, this is when it is here, watching the videos we recommend. We don't bring you in and just say, here, watch these videos, this is how we do it. We send you to those videos because it's our strategy, and we want you to be able to pretty much lip sync with those videos. And because that way, when you see it on the chart, you'll go right there, that's when I'm supposed to get in. You'll know it automatically, like the back of your hand. We have one person that makes anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 a day. I think he made 17,000 a day. His
Now,
first
that's not on
trade,
a $500 account, so
No.
his account size is much larger.
Yeah.
So we
Now,
want that
he
out there
grew
for
it.
your audience to hear
Right.
it.
He grew it up there. His first trade last year, he made $3, but he spent the time it took to learn and to ask questions and join the recaps every single day. And it takes that. And I see people, one of our moderators came in, really didn't know that much about options. He had lost, like everybody else that joins our group, they've lost money everywhere else. And they're looking for a place where they stop losing money. And one of our moderators, Paul, he took his time. He would have a winning day. He would have a losing day here and there. But now I see him posting every day where he's gained 10 to 30 cents or 20 to 30 cents on this trade. And usually it's a couple trades a day. And then if it's going back the other way, he's making, 20 to 30 cents on that one. He's making money every day now. And that's, he took the time and he learned the process. And that's what it takes. It's not a come in and, okay, I can do this tomorrow. Well, where do I find the alerts at? Well, I'll show you where to find the alerts at, but that's not what it's about. So when people come in and they ask, okay, what do I have to do? And I'll tell them, and well, I have a full-time job during the day, and I'll tell them, I think we gave people their money back after their first day because they're like, or a couple of days, because they're like, I can't do this. I have a day job. So I'll just tell Shaw, I said, give them their money back because this is not going to work for them. I ain't here to steal their money. I don't care. I'm going to make money anyways, whether I have a group or not. The system works. The strategy works. It works every single day as long as you follow it, as long as you don't get impatient. Everyone is impatient. I realize that. I understand that. Everyone wants to make money every day. They're watching that. And like the old days, and I tell people going over in the recaps, the old days, here's how I used to trade. SPY, we only trade one stock, SPY. That way we know it like the back of our hand. SPY, like today, went up, 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 up until around 3 o'clock, just went up, up, up. And I would tell them in the recap, here's how I used to trade. I would see SPY going up. An hour later, it's still going up. Now my heart's starting to beat faster and faster. I'm still not in it, but an hour later, it's still going up. And finally, about 10 minutes till 3, I'll go, it's near closing time. I know stocks keep going up. That's when I get in. 2 candles later, it starts going down and doesn't go back up. That's how I used to trade. That's how everyone has traded, because they'll watch that sucker go up, up, up. And finally, an hour later, they'll get in it. And then it goes down, down, down. Or if it goes down first, then it goes up, up, up. And our strategy we train on the exact time to get in. It's easy. I always tell people it's so easy a caveman could do it. I still tell them that. It's super simple. The hard part is getting rid of your bad habits and getting rid of hesitation. And people will ask me, well, what if, I missed the trade there? And they'll ask me during the day, half an hour later, can I still get in? And I'll point out to them, no, your entry was here. Up here's chasing, or down here's chasing. Your entry was here. No, don't get in it. I have gone all day before, not made a trade. And like I tell people, I didn't lose any money today. I didn't make any money today. I still got all my money. And because of my job now, there's been many a days where I'll get back in to work in front of the monitor, and I'll go, oh, look at that sucker take off, or look at it go down 20 minutes later. And people will go, are you in? I'll go, well, no, I missed the trade. This is a chase now. I'm not going to alert a chase. I'm going to tell you I'm chasing it. So, that's just the way it is. I'll wait till later on the day. If we get a pullback or either way, or slight bounce up and a rejection, then that's another entry. You got to develop a lot of patience when you're trading, because that adrenaline is just going and going and going. And that's when you get in, and that's always the wrong time.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary, tell us about your best win and your worst win, and not necessarily, sorry, tell us about your best win and then tell us about your worst loss. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the money aspect, just the entire emotion around a really great win and then the emotion around a really bad loss.
Okay. My best win ever. Well, my best winning day ever. I was a few years ago. Joe was still here, and I was jumping in and out of um, calls on Amazon, and it would keep going up. So I would just jump in. I didn't know anything about trading. I would jump in. It was just kept going up. And Amazon at that time, it moved in dollars. It didn't move in cents. Now they've done a 20-to-1 forward split, moves in pennies now, but it moved in dollars. So I would jump in and I'd make $1,000 to $1,500, jump out, and it was still going up. So I go, oh, still going up. This is all in one day. I made a little over $22,000 that day trading Amazon.
Wow.
The next day, I traded Tesla. I lost $18,000 trading Tesla the next day because I knew it was going to bounce. It never bounced.
Sean, how about you? What is
My best one was on Amazon, but and I tell people I'm a swing trader by heart,
Mhm.
and it was a stepped butterfly on Amazon back in 2020 for it was can't remember, I think it was a week or 2 weeks before earnings, and it was also a big round number. So I placed a butterfly there, but for a couple, when it's still a couple $100 down, I started selling put credit spreads. I sold about, you stacked the put credit spreads going up. So altogether, I had about $1,500 risk, and it came close to a pin on Friday. And I always tell everybody I teach, don't ever hold the close. Just get out of it about a half hour before close. The trade came in and it paid out about 37,000. Now that's what led to my worst loss. And this is what I talk about: emotions, controlling yourself. When you come off an adrenaline rush like that, you start going, man, I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna go for that one. Instead of just, all right, I had a huge win. I'm gonna take a couple of days off, relax. I have a rule of 3. If you have 3 losses in a row, take some time off. If you have 3 huge wins in a row, take twice as much off, because you need to come down from that high. And that led into, it wasn't Tesla, what was it? Oh, I can't believe I'm having a drawing blank here. It wasn't Amazon. I think it might have been Apple. Later in the year, Apple, before the split, I thought it was going to go up, and I got in there big, and I came out of that with probably about a 13,000 loss. I mean, I was still ahead for the year because of that Amazon. I mean, Amazon, one trade like that a year, you could just retire.
Mhm.
But again, what I said before about the probabilities, what's the probability of that happening? It's not always there. Can you get a move? Yes. Can you get a move that's going to pin? Well, you might not. But when you have the momentum on your side, that's where you're playing.
anything either one of you want to let our listeners know before we wrap up today?
If you're going to get into trading, write down the reasons why you want to trade. That's one of the things you want to do. If you're coming in here because you think you're going to get a Lambo in 6 months, just, you know what, go to Vegas. You can at least get some drinks on the house while you're wasting your money. Don't just go into trading thinking you're going to make rich. You're going to be a millionaire in a few years. Yeah, there's a probability that you can, but it's a small probability. And chances are the first 4 years of your trading, You're gonna blow up your account a few times. So you don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Always have a backup plan for that.
I tell people when they come in the group that start trading small. I
Yeah.
tell people don't trade at all for the first 2 months. Don't trade at all. Learn our strategy because it works every day. Learn our strategy. And I just flat out tell people every day, you probably came into this group because you've lost money everywhere else. Our goal is here to teach you how to stop losing money. And it really gets me if people are not speaking up and are not asking questions in the daily recap. And I see on the trade floor, I've lost $300 or I've lost $1,500 this week over the last 4 days. And they haven't said a word. And I call them out and I said, why haven't you been in the recap? I expect you in the recap. We're going to go over your trades, why you're losing and you're getting in. And then I just tell them flat out, stop trading. Don't trade for 2 weeks because you're doing it wrong. And we have to get you on the right path and the right way. And because like I tell people, I started this group to help people make money. And if you're not asking questions and you're not doing what you need to do, that needs to be fixed, or else this isn't the group for you. Please quit, because you're this if I haven't lost in a trade for almost a year because I trade and some people say, oh, you're a liar. No, I'm not, because I wait for the right time to get in and I get out quick. Now, I didn't always trade 100 contracts per trade. I traded 10 contracts, 15, then 20, then whatever. And as I moved up, but you know, I trade 100 contracts per trade now. I'm out when the contract goes up 10 to 15 cents on a 40 delta. That means SPY has only had to move about 45 to 50 cents for me my way, and I only get in when it's the right time. 10 to 15 cents, I'm out just a few minutes. I've made my money. And that's what I try to tell people. Build your account up slow. If you've only got can afford one contract, your 10 to 15 cents, get out. You made $10 or $15 today. Do that again tomorrow. Next month, you're going to be able to get 2 contracts. Someone in the group, one of our moderators that makes a lot of money every day, he started a small account at $250 4 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, $250. It's now worth a little under 700. He trades it once a day because that's all you can. And showing people you could start with a small account and build it every day, following the strategy to the letter. And that's what I try to because I want people to learn this so they can be financially independent in the future. That's the reason I started this group, was to help people do that, because it was something I wanted, and I want to teach people how to do that. And I'm passionate about that. And I don't like to see when people are posting losses every single day and haven't asked one single question on why they're doing it. Because we have some terms. These are technical terms I made up. Willy-nilly. We don't trade willy-nilly. That's your old way. We have lotto trades, but we don't emphasize you take the lotto trade. We will announce it once in a while. It just means it's getting ready to go that way. Watch it carefully. Smooshing. Smooshing is a big one. That happens when all of the indicators, all of the moving averages are tightly wound together. That means do not take a trade. Smooshing. No. And a new one we thought up this week. This one is a good one. If the chart doesn't say it, don't play it. People will ask all the time, is this a good time for puts?
Like my 30-second rule.
If this is a good time for puts, and I'll say, if the chart doesn't say it, don't play it. What do you think? Is this a good time for puts? I get that all the time. We still have green candles showing. The next one's a green candle. Is this a good time for puts? No. Seriously. That's what we try to emphasize. And I don't mean that, I don't want to make anyone sound dumb or anything. because I used to do that years ago. I want to teach you when is the best time to get in for puts or for calls. And so that's, and I'll ask them, what do you think? What's the chart say? Because I want them to tell me. If they have questions over that, please, you should be asking the questions in the recaps. Please be there. We now record just about all the recaps. So there's no excuse no one should be watching. But yeah, the reason my big reason was starting this group was to teach people how to learn how to do this the right way and make money, because you can every day.
Well, I thank the both of you very much for being on the podcast. To all of our listeners, stay awesome and keep reaching for your anything.